As the United Nations marks its 80th anniversary at the General Assembly in New York, France has joined a string of other member countries in recognizing a Palestinian state. The French President Emmanuel Macron was applauded by Palestinian leaders as he made the announcement. France and others are backing Palestinian statehood in the hope that a two-state solution will bring an end to the Israeli-Palestinian conflict. Recognition by Australia, Britain, Canada and Portugal on Sunday adds to the pressure on Israel over the war in Gaza. Macron told the UN General Assembly that the time for peace had come.
We must all act to preserve the very possibility of a two-state solution. Israel and Palestine, living side by side in peace and security. The time has come. That is why, faithful to my country's historic commitment to the Middle East, to peace between the Israeli and Palestinian people, today I declare that France recognizes the State of Palestine.
Fawaz Gerges is a professor of Middle Eastern politics and international relations at London School of Economics. Fawaz, welcome back to DW. Now, with this wave of recognitions, does anything change for Palestinians when it comes to their right to self-determination?
Well, not in the short term and not in the mid-term. It's extremely difficult to translate the recognition of a Palestinian state by more than 150 nations out of 193 in the short term, in particular because of the opposition of the Trump administration to the establishment of a Palestinian state, and also because of the opposition of the Israeli government to any form of self-determination for the Palestinians. But I think we should not underestimate the historical importance of what we have seen in the past few weeks. You're talking about the United Kingdom, Australia, Canada, France, Portugal, Spain, Norway. These are some of the closest allies of both the United States and Israel. Mm-hmm. And this tells me a great deal that there is also a recognition that the clock is running out. That is, what Israel has been trying to do is to create facts on the ground, is to build more settlements, is to really destroy the prospects, the principle of a two-state solution. And there's also recognition among Western nations, America's allies, that the Trump administration has forfeited its peacemaking role in the Arab-Israeli process and fully sided with Israel, in particular in the past 1 year or so.
Why have many Western states long been, and some of course remain, hesitant to formally recognize Palestinian statehood?
Well, I think most of the Western nations now have either recognized a Palestinian state or they will recognize a Palestinian state in the next few days. What you have, Germany, you have Italy, but the pressure is mounting in Italy on the Meloni government in order for her to recognize a Palestinian state. And of course, there are a few Baltic states. But I think the most important state that is the United States, because Donald Trump, what we have seen in the past 1 year or so is that the United States used to be a major supporter of the principle of a two-state solution, a secure Israeli state living side by side with a Palestinian state peacefully. Now what Donald Trump has done, he not only now opposes the principle of a two-state solution, but he has exerted tremendous pressure on Great Britain, on Australia, on Canada and France in order not to recognize a Palestinian state. And this is why the Israeli government feels that it has a green light. It has a green light not only to build more settlement, it has a green light from the Trump administration not only to build, more settlement, but even to annex some of the, most of the territories of the West Bank and continue its war in Gaza. This is really very serious, the role of the United States. But the reality is, I think the train has left the station. The momentum now, the historical momentum, is on the side of the Palestinians. And look, I mean, Donald Trump is here for just 3 more years. Imagine if a new administration comes, a progressive, open-minded administration comes to the White House. You're going to see an entirely a major change in American foreign policy. And then what you and I were talking about, the unlikelihood of a Palestinian state could really become a reality in 5 or 10 years from now.
We're running out of time, but briefly, the Israeli government, of course, says the recognition rewards Hamas terrorism. What do you make of that?
Well, I mean, what do you expect Israel to say? In fact, the reverse is true, because what most Western governments are trying to do is to basically give the Palestinians a ray of hope. There is a ray of hope for the Palestinians. And my question for Israel and its supporters, what's the alternative? What's the alternative to a Palestinian state? The alternative is a forever war. The alternative is Israel will be at war, permanent war with the Palestinians and its neighborhood. And just final point on this question, one of the underlying reasons why most Western governments have finally decided to recognize a Palestinian state, they are terrified that the extremist government in Israel is really leading Israel into a catastrophe, risking the security not only of the Israeli state, but also of the Israeli people who live now in a hostile region, given what's happening in Gaza in the past 2 years.
That was Fawaz Gerges. Thanks.